bienvenidos, and welcome to a new video series that's going to be entirely in English. Now, I know this is something very different, and there's no subtitles, no hay subtítulos, because this video series is meant to be for people who are English speakers, people who are looking to, travel to, move to, retire in Colombia, Medellin, Latin America at large, people learning Spanish, etc. This is going to be kind of a different video series. It's going to be a lot less edits because this really is I just want to be really raw with you guys and speak about my experiences, and for the people specifically that want to be following in my footsteps with anything, like I said before, learning Spanish all the way up to moving abroad. And because I know that there are a lot of people out there that are looking for this kind of information. And I know that by sharing my story, I'm serving that greater purpose while also contributing to positive perspectives of Colombia, combating negative stereotypes, etc. And all of that's going to be happening here in English with you guys. So thank you so much for being here. And I really hope that this video series that hopefully will be coming out every Thursday, these kinds of videos. And I say maybe because I literally do everything myself, guys. So I'm gonna be doing these videos in English, but I'm also gonna be keeping up with my videos in Spanish. So we'll just see how that goes. But but I really wanna do this. Like, it's been this desire that I've wanted to do for such a long time. And even before the pandemic, and I think a lot of us now are like finally getting into, our passion projects are finally like realizing this is gonna be me a lot in English too. I'm like using words that make sense in Spanish that don't make sense in English. Realizándose, like becoming real, I guess. Yeah. And the reason I'm doing this really is because my channel, which is now at nearly 53,000 subscribers, I mean, wow, it blew up, and I am speaking in Spanish, right? But the channel is called La Gringa Latina, and I am La Gringa Latina. Both of these cultures are a part of me and have helped shape my identity today at almost 27 years old. And, I want the channel and its audience to reflect that too. So I don't want just a whole bunch of Latinos following me. I really want people like me that are following my channel too, and that actually find, and that get value out of my story and my advice, recommendations. So that being said, please click the link below in the description to sign up to my email list so you are notified of all the videos and content that I come out with and all the future projects that I'll be coming out with. So, are you guys ready for a story? Why I moved to Medellin. Story time. Okay, so I really wanted to start with this video because I got the question by someone that said, why did you move to Medellin? Why not another city? And I want to sort of clear up, like, why Colombia? This is actually a topic that I was speaking with to the Centro Colombo Americano, in Bogota. And I'm from Omaha, Nebraska. Obviously, it's not very normal. I get that my story is not very normal, and I want to just sort of explain it to everybody. So, from a young age, I always loved singing and dancing, and I'm a creative person, and I think Latin culture just like has a lot of that, and Colombia in particular is a very lively culture, and the people, and salsa, and so it has one of those like dominant cultures of all of Latin America, alongside Mexico, which we get a lot of culture in the States from Mexico, it being a neighboring country. So, Spanish was the language that I started off with in school, like a lot of people, sometimes you'll start off with like a different language, like Italian or German or something, but whatever, I started with Spanish, and I was really good at it. Like when I was 13, I always like got the top score on the weekly quiz or whatever, and got to like sit in the big comfy chair in the corner. Like I was like the star of the Spanish class, and that, like, normally the things that you begin to do really well at a young age, you get the encouragement for it, and you continue to do those things. So Spanish was always something that I really liked, that class. And then I was like, I would love to become fluent, I would love to study abroad. It just, the desire to know more and to understand more of this culture too was a huge part, and travel's exciting. So Colombia sort of came on my radar in college, because of where I went to college. I went to college in New Jersey, right outside of New York, which is where a lot of Colombians live in the States. I would argue that it's like the area with the largest conglomeration of Colombians in the country, right outside Elizabeth, North Bergen, Patterson, all of that area of New Jersey. I went to Seton Hall in South Orange. I went there to study international relations and diplomacy because they had an actual school for that. It wasn't like a political science school with a track of international relations. It was like international relations was what I wanted to do, not international business, international relations and diplomacy, which is very different. And they have a very specific program connection with the United Nations in New York. So I loved like being close to New York too. My gosh, I would go back in a heartbeat. So freshman year, I was very involved in the Latin student organization called Adelante. And after that first year, I would always go to meetings with my best friend. Her name was Adriana, and she's from El Salvador. And I remember her sitting me down in the library one day, and maybe it was like February, and she was like, do you wanna like spend the summer with me and my mom in El Salvador? And I was like, yeah, like hell yeah. So I like asked my parents, and they were like not cool with the idea of me just like sitting around on a beach doing nothing all summer in college. So they were like, you have to find like either a job or an experience or a volunteer or something. And so I literally looked up like nonprofits in San Salvador, and I just applied to the first one to do an internship. And they replied back, and it was the organization Cristosal. I was working as an intern in their global school. They were giving courses to schools, churches, etc. on different human rights topics. And so I set that whole thing up, and I went to El Salvador for 3 months, for 3 full months, so like 90 days from May to August. And I was there taking intensive Spanish classes in the morning. And then I did the internship in the afternoon. And those Spanish classes in the morning that I took for 4 hours, one-on-one for like 8 weeks, that really like skyrocketed my learning in the language. And also because, I left the classroom and I had to use my Spanish, So that was extremely helpful. And I made a video on my channel before, it's in Spanish, of like how I learned Spanish and my process. And I sort of gauged like the percentage of fluency that I was at. And I sort of guessed that I was around like 65% fluent from maybe like 25%. So like 3 months in increasing my Spanish language abilities was like just so fast. And that's why I always say, the quickest way to learn a language is just go there. Go to the country, force yourself. It might be uncomfortable and it might be scary and you might be embarrassed, but like you'll learn if that's really what you want, right? So that was an amazing summer. And El Salvador, I have such a love for that country, and I haven't been back, and I really want to. Their pupusas are so amazing, and just the whole story, the history of that country is incredible, and a story that I wish more people knew about, being the pulgarcito de Latinoamérica, the little thumb of Latin America, because it's the smallest country in Latin America, aside from Puerto Rico. But never mind. If you want to know more about my experience in El Salvador, you can click on this link up here and watch my video where I talk about that experience in El Salvador. So after that first year, so sophomore year started, I was the president of the Latin student organization. They made me president, yes, a gringa, only because I could get shit done. I was just really good at like leading and communicating, organizing, etc. And I really loved that role. Like I loved being that, just someone who was connected to the community in that way. And so I got to know the Latin community a lot. And the Latin community on campus was primarily Colombians, Ecuadorians, and Dominicans. That was how Colombia sort of came on my radar. I had a friend who was from Medellin, specifically in Copacabana in the north. And he would always talk about Medellin, like not like Colombia at large, but like Medellin. People who are Pisces and speak English know how regionalist they can be. But I was like, what's this place, And I even tried to study abroad in Colombia in the Javeriana in Bogota. It's sort of the highest quality school, you could say, education for credits to transfer, for the quality of the education to be enough to transfer credits, etc. Didn't work out. I went with my plan B, which was Lima, because I had already spent time in Central America. So I was like, okay, I want South America, and Peru was my plan B. And so I lived in Lima for 1 full year. And I set up 1 semester to be in Lima, and I set up the other semester to be in El Salvador, because there was a special study abroad program from Santa Clara University in California that was located in El Salvador, and I just really wanted to go back to El Salvador because I loved it so much. After the first semester in Lima, I went back to the States. I missed Lima so much. I missed all those connections I made and my host mom. And so I went back to visit, like a surprise, in January. I was homesick for Peru. And in that time that I was visiting, like a surprise visit, I just left, I got the news that the study abroad program in El Salvador was canceled, because that at that point was 2016. March of 2016. At that point, the United States government withdrew the Peace Corps from El Salvador. So that was the decision the university made, was we can't send students there if Peace Corps workers can't be there. So I was already in Lima, and I was like, well, I guess this means in order to graduate in 4 years, I have to stay in Lima. So I was like, hey, host mom, I'm staying. I went back from my visit and then came back again, because their Christmas break is their winter break. Summer break, long break, whatever. So I did another 6 months in Lima, and that was my full junior year in college. And by the end of that year, I was fluent. And I made sure of that because I chose a program that had classes that were only in Spanish. And I made sure I wasn't speaking in English with anybody. I did not close myself off in this gringo bubble. I did not use Google Translate. I just used other resources that I had to learn the language. And all my classes being in Spanish, that was really hard. And I'll make another video about this more in depth, about my struggles with just learning another language from zero. Again, I'm not it was just hard work. I'll come out with a new video specifically about that for people, struggling with the language. Another little story time of the moments that I struggled in Lima. I struggled the most at the end. All I can say is that. But I did it. I made it out on the other side, and then finished my carrera. It's not career, it's major. I finished my major, my degree really, May 2017. So the last year I was doing my thesis and my internship and all that stuff. And I graduated in 2017. So 1 full year in Lima, and I visited Colombia twice in that time. So after the first semester was when I first visited Medellin, because I found out that I have a cousin who lives here. And I was like, what? I didn't know he existed. He's a cousin of an uncle, really. It's political family. And whatever, at the end of 2015, that would have been December of 2015, was the first time I visited. I visited, one of the best times to visit Medellin is Christmas season. And, he welcomed me with open arms. He's married to a Colombian, Paisa as well. And I had an amazing time. I had an amazing time. And literally after the first day, I was like, no, I could see myself living here for sure after I graduate. And he lives more in Rio Negro, so we spent more time kind of in the outskirts of Medellin. And I have to say that if there's one thing that just really I just thought was so special and so beautiful, and the thing that made me want to be here, is just the land, the land outside of the city, right? The green, the flowers. It's something very similar to the countryside of Italy when we think of it, out of a postcard. It was just gorgeous. This is flower country, this is the lands of where flowers being exported and come from here. So just so pretty, so beautiful. And so I came back to Lima, finished my second semester, and then I visited again at the end of my second semester, just to sort of make sure that this was the place I wanted to be. And at that time, the second visit, I spent more time in the city of Medellin. And I was like, yes, definitively, this is where I want to be. It was checking off all of my boxes. I will make more videos about that specifically, and, that decision of Medellin in the future as well. So when I returned to New Jersey to finish my senior year, I began looking for jobs like November of that year, because I remember thinking, you know, I don't want to enter the city, I don't want to enter the country on a tourist visa. I want a work visa. I want something more permanent because I'm not leaving. I mean, I had my plan B, C, D, E, F like lined up. I was preparing, you know, to make this happen, to make this work. And as someone that's, you know, not done that before on her own, that was a big, like, scary leap of faith. Because actually I did not find a job until June of the following year. So that was like 7-8 months of searching for a job. And I booked my flight in May. So a month before I even found that job. And that was a big leap of faith too, of just saying, hey, like, it's gonna work out. I'm gonna find something. And I just knew it with my whole being that Medellin was my future, period. I mean, I had even, you know, interviewed for a few jobs in Miami, because it was either Miami or Medellin for me after college, literally. But Medellin was always the goal, the dream, and I don't know, it's something I just feel so connected to and so sure of, you know? Something I was so sure of. So I came here on this work visa. I want to tell that story of that first job that I had later on in a different video, because it was kind of like like the worst job experience I've ever had in my life. Kind of like, you know, Devil Wears Prada, Anne Hathaway, Meryl Streep type of situation. I want to tell that story in another video, and it'll be really juicy and really funny. But, you know, like, it all worked out. You know, this person led to this person, led to this situation, led to this job, you know, and it all worked out. And I'm here and I'm living what I dreamed about years ago. So I don't know, and it is very often, you guys, like, this sounds so freaking cheesy. It does, but it is very often that I don't know, I'll just look at the sky, the big blue sky, or I'll just pass by a bushel of flowers and I'll just say, I'm just so happy to be here. I'm so happy and so lucky to be living in this city, in this place. You know, I'm just enjoying my 20s in Latin America here. I wish more people could come here and really see how beautiful this place is and all the treasures that it has to offer for the world. So that's precisely why I'm doing these videos in English, because the people who speak Spanish who live here, Colombians, they already freaking know this stuff, you know? Like, it's now time for me to be turning to you guys, people who, you know, came to my channel because it was already on their radar, Spanish or Latin America or Medellin or whatever. And I'm just here to sort of confirm all of those suspicions you have about it. I also made a video about a year ago of why Medellin is the best city to live in. And of course I'm biased because I haven't actually lived in any of the other cities of Colombia, but I give some pretty good convincing reasons. If you want to sort of know a little bit more about like the cost of living here in Medellin, I made a video maybe about a couple months ago where I talk about like what you can buy for $10 and just how cheap it is. Stay tuned though, because the next video that I'm going to be doing is all about the cost of living here actually, and breaking it down. So stay tuned for that video. So in summary, if I was to answer this question of why I moved to Medellin, like in one sentence, it would be because I wanted to have an international experience of living in another country in my 20s, you know, and after I graduated from college, that's a really good time to do so, to move abroad, in order to continue speaking Spanish and continuing the fluency. And a lot of people do it just to become fluent. As for the question of, you know, why Medellin over another city, it was the only city that was ever a possibility for me, I guess. And the main city that I was led to just on my own personal path and experiences and people that came into my life. And what made me initially fall in love, like I said, the beautiful surrounding lands of Antioquia. Really, Antioquia is the state where Medellin, I think Medellin is yeah, it's gotta be the capital of Antioquia, the state of Antioquia, or they say departamento, department, but yeah, just like beautiful views. Like, I remember we went horseback riding in Guarne. I will never forget that experience. I don't know, it's just like when you lay eyes on something that you know will be in your life, you know, that won't be a temporary like vacation experience. It's like you feel a connection to it, and that's what I really felt. That's what I felt, and I know I'm totally not the only person that's felt that. So I can't wait to be like connecting with more people here on this channel that know exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about just how special like this place of Medellin is and other things that are connected to the culture of the whole country at large. Thank you so much guys for watching. I hope that me sharing my story has helped you in some way, just to put it simply. I don't know who's gonna be watching these videos. I don't know who really I'm yet going to be serving when I'm now coming out with these English videos, but I do know that people are asking a whole bunch of questions that I just want to help answer, help clear up, and be of service to people who really need to navigate those basic things that I had to navigate in the beginning when I didn't have anybody to help me out when I first moved here, even though I was fluent in the language. I mean, I can't imagine somebody who, you know, moving here or marrying into a family and like not understanding the culture, the language. There's a lot of frustrations that come with adapting to a new people and place and, you know, regulations of a new country and how to express yourself, just all of those things I have gone through. And so I want to stop this video really quick, you guys, because I totally forgot to mention that I am taking clients now to work on a more one-on-one personal level with you, whether that be you are out not in Colombia and you need on-the-ground research here in Medellin to see if Medellin is the place to set up your business or to move here, to people who already live here and are managing difficulties with the language barrier. I have worked with expat clients in the past, helping them to solve all of their kinds of different problems that come with just acclimating to and living in another country. So if that is of interest to you, please email me at laurenlagringalatina@gmail.com. So thank you so much for watching all the way to the end here. Stay tuned for more videos. Again, like I said, hopefully they'll be coming out every Thursday in English. I can't wait to see my channel continue to grow more in that way with English speakers here. And then you guys can check out more of my videos in Spanish if you are learning. And I'm going to be, you know, continuing to be coming out with Spanish videos on Medellin and all the different places that I'm going to be traveling in the future. So see you guys in the next video. My name is Lauren, and I'm so glad you guys can say my name, English speakers. Lauren, because it's not Lauren, it's Lauren. And it's not that hard, but they say Lauren with an accent on the R, and I just have to be okay with that. And I want to bring back this ending that I always had in the beginning of my videos, but it was the slogan of our Latin student organization when I was in college. Adelante siempre, siempre adelante. Forward always, always forward. So I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week. Restful, productive, joyful, and we'll see you in the next one. Besos.